Internet, you're back. I got a call from Darletta. She does social marketing directing for the farmers market in Oklahoma City, which is a great area. It's a lot bigger than I knew, but we're gonna go check it out. So we're gonna see it. I guess before I head out, I've got to get dressed. I just took the shower. Gotta brush those teeth. Hey, we're here at the farmer's market. I'm meeting up with Darletta. She's doing a lot of their social media stuff. It looks like a really neat place. There's some great people here. It's a lot of fun. So let's see if we can find Darletta and talk to a few of them.
Come into my house.
Are we coming over here to Urban Agrarian?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, look, there's a little food truck. Local food and plants. Go ahead.
So here they have like herbs and stuff.
Oh, nice.
We have movie nights at the farmers market. We try to do it once a month. We've been doing double features. So far we've done, we did The Labyrinth and Dark Crystals. This is going to be the Army of Darkness and The Lost Boys on October 21st. Mad Max, we did the second and third one. That's pretty
That's
interesting.
awesome.
There's a bar. You can order from the bar. There's popcorn. Popcorn is free. They have candy that you can buy, and it's nice and air conditioned. So it's really awesome.
And where is that exactly? It's inside or?
Inside the farmers market upstairs. It's
Upstairs.
$5.
So here we are. We're here at Urban Agrarian. I should probably show my face that I'm actually here. It's Urban Agrarian. I've actually got some jewelry in here, so kind of show you guys where that's at. We've got some people browsing. It looks like somebody's looking at my jewelry right now. That's awesome. And there's like all this food. It looks delicious. This salsa. Is that Bernie Sanders? That's Bernie Sanders.
We should, you know, see if he wants to come up.
Yeah, we've known each other for a while.
So Anthony, what's the usual thrust of your video blog, man?
Just the city and the people in it. I like to focus on creatives and business owners and the areas that are burgeoning or that already have.
I'm Matt Burch.
It's nice to meet you.
Owner, operator, founder of Urban Agrarian. Urban Agrarian's down here in the old Farmers Market District. We're right on the corner of 2nd and Ellison. Big, red brick building that was built in the 1930s. There's been several generations of produce houses, and we've moved in with like the modern update. When we moved down here, the Farmers Market District was pretty quiet. Since then, Bikram Yoga has moved in. The Powerhouse is right across the street. Delmar Gardens Food Truck Park is going in right now.
When's that going to be ready?
Which?
The
Delmar?
food truck,
Man,
yeah.
I'd be hesitant to give you a date. I think right now we're operating off of the middle of November.
Okay.
Man, we're always exploring taking the retail portion of our business and getting it into the Sterling building. So we're looking at a lot of things with that. We've got a lot of equipment over there. We're trying to put together like a larger local food-based retail establishment. Sooner than that, we're doing a farm-to-table dinner out of the warehouse, a 50 person, course dinner with wine based around local products.
How do they get into that? Is there a website where they can buy a ticket? Or?
We've got it on all the Urban Agrarian social media.
Which are?
And yeah, Urban Agrarian, at Urban Agrarian, Urban Agrarian on Facebook, at Urban Agrarian on Instagram. We're able to capture all that, and even our website is just urbanagrarian.com.
An agrarian is
living off the land, so Urban Agrarian, it's like living in the city but still being able to live off the land. We run routes to farms and ranches and dairies all around the state, bring that stuff into town. We sell it out of our retail storefront. We also supply a lot of local restaurants with free-range chicken and local produce and pasture-based, meat and dairy. And we've got a commercial kitchen on site here as well. So there's some, there are a lot of food entrepreneurs that come in and rent that space out to start their own food business. Or we'll utilize the kitchen for our own preservation, excess strawberries becoming jam, or, a lot of different things. That's where our catering comes out of. That's where a lot of our preservation comes out of. And that's what a lot of what we stock the store shelves with. It's, just based around what, upstart food entrepreneurs wander in the door and want to get something started, and we work with almost all of them,
How long have you been doing that? Did you start doing that at a young age, and has it changed?
No, man, I was a city kid. Growing up, I was a city boy, totally. I moved to Savannah, Georgia, and worked on a farm for a few years in like 04, 05, and I moved back here and founded Urban Agrarian in 08. but when I started, it was out of the garage. And then we were over next to the air park over in what's becoming Wheeler District. There's an old meat packing plant over there that we rented several thousand square feet in. That was kind of phase 2, and then this facility here has been phase 3.
Have you met some of the local business owners? What do you think about the people that work around here?
Specifically right around here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, man, Bert and Jody are great. They bought this place 10-ish, 12-ish years ago and have had the vision of bringing back the farmers market, and I'm really glad to be able to play a role in that, assist with that in any way that I can, and headquarter ourselves down here. I mean, I love the story of that, I love the location, I love being a part of that whole thing. Manual is great. Right across the street they put together, Pam and Manuals, they do these great spring displays of live plants. Then in the summer they have all these melons, and in the fall they put together amazing, pumpkin, winter squash, hay bale, mums. I mean, from Reno, it's beautiful, and they get a lot of traffic in and out of there. Chris is awesome across the street with the Pinata Store. He gets a lot of great citrus in season from Texas, as well as just a really wide variety of other types of produce and foods in there. The Powerhouse, I don't know that anybody anticipated how well the Powerhouse would do. Clay put a lot of heart and soul into this space, and it's being really well received.
Yeah.
I know my friends that ride bicycles through the city, they were like some of the first people that discovered the Powerhouse.
Yeah.
And they were just like, have you ever been to the Powerhouse? So that's how I found out about it.
Yeah.
Just people exploring the city.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing that we all rely on down here, because we're not to the point where we've got these big marketing arms. Like, nobody's spending much money on marketing down here. So we really, it's necessary that when we get people down here, we show them what we're working on and treat them in a way that they leave and they go, oh man, have you been to the Powerhouse? You've been to Urban Agrarian? Hopefully soon Delmar. Same thing with Pam's, that they come down here and have a unique enough experience that it's like, wow, I just found something.
Yeah, the energy here is just great.
Right.
It's just super nice.
What type of people do you find are finding you?
Man, it's a wide variety. So real early on, what was really cool was that it was a lot of people from generations past that had been down here, and when this was really a thing. There was a woman that came in that was in her 90s that was just one of our, she was just this big cheerleader because she came down here in her, in her youth and when this place was all really vibrant. So there are a lot of folks that have been coming down here for a long time, and maybe they're just poking their head in because they saw something in the paper, or they're in the area. They shopped at Sterling back in the day, or they shopped in the market, or they, or one of the iterations of the other produce houses that have been down here. So there are a lot of folks that have been coming down here for a long time that give us a lot of encouragement to just stick it out and keep going, and they love what we're doing, bring it back. And then there's a lot of the social media generation, whether that be, I don't know if that's a generation, but social media connected people.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the ways that I got started with marketing was, I don't know, Twitter was probably a year or two old, and I used to do a Sunday market sitting out in the van, and if nobody was there at those times, it was like an unmarked van with a bunch of produce out front. It was pretty creepy from the street. Self-admittedly, I'd look at this and go, man, this is sketchy. So I'd be sitting there by myself just kind of tweeting stuff out, and then you'd get an @ mention, or you'd get, and it was just like, oh my God, I can communicate with people that are 4 blocks away, 5 blocks away, people that are coming up and down 23rd.
Yeah.
And of course with Cheever's Brunch, always been popping. All those people saw us, and that was kind of the first, little bit of attention that made me go, man, maybe I can just, if I stick with this, we can get the volume up, this can all be viable.
Yeah, that's funny. Cheever's is the first place that made me believe I would be viable as an artist in Oklahoma City. I've moved around to various cities, Austin, New Orleans, San Diego, and places in between. Came back to Oklahoma City and kind of just hung out doing my own thing. Didn't really expect to do anything artistically. Was really focusing on music. And one of the general managers, I think, Henri, ended up giving me a show, and I filled up all the walls and everything sold. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll be an artist in Oklahoma City as well. So
no doubt, man.
I owe them a
Salute
lot.
to Good Egg Dining Group and a lot of the folks that they've hired over the course of years. They hire well, they're operated well. Nothing but respect for those folks.
Yeah.
They eventually later on invited us to come across the street and do that Sunday market right there on site at Cheever's, which was just great. That helped a lot. A lot of the restaurant concepts buy stuff from us, and they've been supportive. And then, like you're saying with Henri, I mean, they hire well. The way that they put together their team over there is really top notch.
Yeah.
First of all, what's the Sterling building? Where's that at?
It's right on the other side of the Powerhouse. So Sterling Produce was there for I don't know, 30 to 40 years, and it's connected to this antique mall.
Okay,
and
that's
that
where
was
I
just
was
like a
going.
big produce house for a long time, retail. You'd walk in and they'd have roasted peanuts and all kinds of produce on site. And it's that's definitely a location that people that have been shopping down here for any amount of time used to go to. And they closed down about the time that we were moving in, so it was, we thought we were kind of joining forces with Sterling Produce, or that there would be some shared momentum there. But they were closing right as we moved in.
Okay.
So I've definitely collected, as soon as that happened, my plan and kind of my hope was that we would be able to build out this retail storefront to a strong enough, that it'd be strong enough that we could go, okay, next phase is to do like a really legit, larger floor plan local food market.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still in the plan. That's still something that we spend as much time on as we can, figuring out how to take that next step without risking everything that we've built so far. So we're catering out of the kitchen that exists right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've done everything from small business luncheons, utilizing a bunch of local fresh produce, to more high-end, past hors d'oeuvres at art openings.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a couple buffet style, big commercial film shoot kind of catering. So we're dipping our toes in a lot of that, because we just sit in this place in the supply chain where we're already going to pick up all this food.
Mm-hmm.
We're already selling some retail, we're selling some wholesale. It doesn't take anything. It's more efficient for us to throw a little more onto that order and offer that as catering. And I feel like we do a really good job with it, so that doesn't hurt.
Cool.
It's not just the ingredients are really legit. We've got some talented folks on staff.
Yeah, that always helps too.
Right.
If somebody's interested in approaching you about doing the commercial kitchen space that you've got, is it a case by case their needs, as far as the cost goes and the contract, the length of
Yeah,
time?
it's pretty flexible. So April Harrington built this place out with me, and her business is the Earth Elements Entrepreneur's Kitchen. And she'd have all the real specific information, but it is a kitchen available. You can do it just hourly, a one-day type of thing. But you definitely see some cost reduction when you make a commitment, almost like signing a lease for, say, 4 hours a week or 12 hours a month, and there's sliding pay scales based on that, and it's a certified kitchen that, you can come in. You still have to deal with the health department on your specific product and your specific process, but, the biggest part, the facility, is taken care of.
The kitchen that's brewed and everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, that would be kind of nice for the food truck part. If somebody doesn't necessarily have a food truck, but there's a kitchen there and they want to just start something, that'd be kind of...
Absolutely. There's a lot of flexibility.
useful.
There have been a lot of different types of concepts that have come in and out of there, some of which have done really well and decided to build out their own space, or move their operation into a food truck, or just stay right where they're at and continue to operate, out of the kitchen.
Awesome. The co-op, do you get any of your food from the co-op?
Some of the same producers, for sure.
Okay.
I was involved with the co-op, for several years when I first moved back to Oklahoma, before Urban Agrarian just kind of took over my life. And they're right down here in the district. They do the once a month statewide distribution, and there's definitely a lot of overlap between producers that we work with. And I cheer those guys on all the time. They've got a really good concept and a great team, and a bunch of folks really dedicated to local food as well.
Awesome. Another thing that I was going to ask about was peanuts. Those are actually, I talked to a gentleman yesterday who spends a lot of he's kind of like a bird. He migrates to Arizona when it's cold here. But he came yesterday, and he's been coming for 40 years. And he was talking about the Sterling building. They used to invite him for Christmas dinners and stuff.
Nice.
He comes here specifically for those peanuts. Do you know the history on the
There's
nuts?
just been a lot of peanut roasters around here. There are a decent amount of peanuts grown in this state as well as through Texas, so we've got a lot of access to them. I don't know the exact season of peanuts. I usually just kind of play that by ear, but in the fall, the peanuts, specifically going into Medill, Oklahoma. I forget the name of the, facility down there, but a lot of peanuts come into Medill, and those are the majority of what are carried down here now, and I believe were carried, that was the source of the peanuts. And there have just been peanut roasters inside of Sterling, inside of the Pinata Store. It's just been a thing, filling the air with that smell and having, local Oklahoma roasted peanuts routinely. It's just been a part of what you're going to get when you come down here. And I know that they're still doing some of that in the Pinata Store, and I know that Clay has picked that up. If you go into the Powerhouse, he's got a spicy version of his roasted peanuts, and so some of that is still
Those are
like
very
carrying
good. I've
into
had
2015. Right.
They're getting their peanuts back in 2 weeks.
Right.
And so they're getting their peanuts back.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a wait for the peanuts.
There is.
Yeah.
People want them.
I feel
No
like
doubt.
Medill would be popular for something more like pickles. Like maybe it should be named Ma Peanuts.
Right.
My peanuts.
It's hard to say specifically what's on anybody's mind, any of the developers that are buying property down here, but
Yeah.
I'm just hoping they keep it going
Yeah.
and get some more concepts going into some of these
They
buildings
open
down
at
here.
4 o'clock.
Oh, I've never been here before. I just
Well, you should
Awesome.
definitely
You should
check it
come
out,
back.
though.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
want to.
The food's
I've just
great.
happened to be down there. I read an article about it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
They have
great.
burgers and stuff like that.
They've got some food, not burgers specifically, but they've got several like bar menu items.
Oh, okay.
They've got
So it's
some-
mostly a pub thing. I guess?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But they do have like a little brunch thing
Yeah, they
on
have,
the weekends. So-
Pork, little sliders,
Yeah.
and it's so good. You should try it.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So there's a lot of that, right?
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say.
read an article, heard something that
Yeah.
happens with his place, our place. It's going to happen with the food truck park, and that right there, hearing about it is like, it's what we need. That's what I don't know. We try and make sure when people come down here that they have some sense of that we have a sense that they're going to want to share about this place. We all know, like as soon as we walk in, it's like, okay, this is another potential word of mouth person.
Yeah.
And they'll let you know too. Like, I heard so many good things about this place. I just wanted to come check it out for myself.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And a lot of that is just inherent because we all really love what we're doing. We've all kind of set up our dream jobs and just this process of bringing back, a historic part of town, and specifically this one, like we're all food, dining, and even the yoga studio, health and wellness, it all just kind of fits into that neat little package there. So, everybody's really down here feeling really good about what they're doing, and it's a lot of independent entrepreneurs, so it's not necessarily that we're we're like putting our skin in the game, kind of
Everything
stepping
is
out there
on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like, my staff, almost everybody over there is underpaid, over talented, and just like willing to take this ride. So they've got a ton of personal, like commitment to it as well.
I understand that completely.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the old Buddy's Produce building, which caught fire and is basically a D-lap right now, that's going to come down, so that'll open up another big lot. I mean, there's a ton of potential down here if you stand far enough back. Some of it
Right.
looks like, it needs a lot of elbow grease, which it does, but, big picture, I'm hoping this is a really sweet place to be. And then, of course, right over the river here, Wheeler District and everything that they're talking about with this walkable, intentional community. I mean, I'm hoping that that's what we're right across the river from.
As far as your produce goes, is there like other things that you couldn't do without during your daily routine? Do you start off with like some cold press or something from one of your shelves, and then
Oh
crack a
man,
few
so
bites?
Roy whips together this cold brew coffee. We do like 16-ounce mason jars, and that's what I think all of us start every day off with, is like a little kick in the pants.
That is perfect.
And then of course, like we'll put together salads and stuff for ourselves for lunch, and that's always
That's gotta be
couldn't do
delicious.
without that either.
Really good.
But like the one thing that we're all the fuel that keeps everybody over there like chipper and sorting produce and inventory and all the rest of it is that cold brew.
Oh, okay. No, that's
For
for
sure.
like organic gummy bears or something like that. Grown fresh from the
I mean,
farm,
there's a
like-
lot of that stuff, but like the fuel that keeps the whole thing running is that cold brew coffee for sure. It comes from Miote, which is roasted in Guthrie, and Roy's just really good at mixing his different roast types to get his overall finished flavor that he's looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salads. But you guys ever do warm food? You ever heat up one of the grills over there or anything?
Mainly on the weekends. Like we've been doing these little hand pies with, like apple. We've been doing really good little hand pies. Last weekend we did pigs in a blanket. We're still playing around with it because we're just now getting to the point where there's like enough people that are coming around that you're not going to have a bunch of waste. So we always do sampling, a ton of sampling on Saturdays. We're throwing rotisserie chickens into the rotisserie, really nice free range chickens, and then every weekend we've been playing around with something a little different, just seeing what people are into. Mainly like street food style stuff. Hand pies, little pigs in a blanket, just like not trying to stay away from the need for silverware and dishes, and just
Kind of like
Smart.
the food truck concept.
yeah,
Walk up.
right. And almost like another way for us to do sampling is selling these really like kind of low cost things. They're like, oh wow, and most of it's not difficult to do. So it's like, oh man, I can totally do this at home, or you're just getting a sense of what is on our shelves when combined with other things. It's just the name of the game, man. So Better Block came down here and did their whole thing one spring, and then we've done fall fests and spring festivals. We did those from like 2012 until I want to say 2014. We also did one. We didn't do one this year because it was like you had Powerhouse in construction, and now you have this place in construction. So it's not that inviting. But you know, Powerhouse has been done, and that's going great. And that's going to be a great centerpiece for a festival once we get it back up and going. And the food truck park is going to be amazing too.
Yeah.
Like once we can have a festival around these two entities that have been being built and worked on for a while, I think it's perfect for that sort of thing, to block these streets off. They're
Have a
both
huge
centrally
walkway.
located, and it's all so accessible. You know, Powerhouse has all this outdoor seating. It's awesome. And then over there is the same thing. You've got all these different service, you know, into all these different food trucks. So it's not like one big line. You know, there's a lot of options.
And we have an in-house production company
No
too,
doubt,
so
no doubt.
we could throw a badass party.
No doubt.
That's incredible. Yeah, you can cuss on the channel. That's not
Okay.
a big deal.
Badass.
You're like, fuck shit. No, God damn it.
So do you know what's back here behind?
So
Sam's?
there's a place back there called Tanaka Produce, and that's been a produce distributor for quite some time. I couldn't quote it exactly, but like in that 40-ish year range. And they still send trucks in and out. You know, I'm not real sure who all they sell to. We buy, so we carry mushrooms from J&M Farms up in Miami, Oklahoma. And when we contacted them to get those mushrooms, they said, oh, we've been selling Tanaka for 25 years or something.
Perfect.
They're like, we'll sell you, you know, your minimum order would be like, you know, 1,000 pounds or something insane, but just buy them from Tanaka, and you know, they're still over there doing their thing. There's another one called there's a Banana Distribution Company is the name of it, Frank's Tomato House. There's a couple, you know, just kind of food distribution processing entities still sitting back there that you know, they seem to
going?
still be going strong. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then you have Goodwill back behind that, and you know, that's just, they have all kinds of stuff going on over there.
Yeah.
The co-op's over there in the Banana Building. Buddy's Produce is, like I said, pretty much a DLAP. And then you got right here in the heart of the district, but then even outside of it, right? Like Urban Farmhouse seems like they're just doing amazing right there on Western. Then you go a little farther than that on Third, I'm pretty sure it is, and Anthem. I mean, all I'm drinking for like the past year is Anthem. They're turning out
Yeah, I
great
didn't
beers.
realize that they were in this district, honestly.
Yeah, I
until a
mean,
couple
not
days
right
ago.
here in the heart of it, but you know, the way that this district is drawn, it kind of goes a little farther out than Western. And, you know, it kind of captures a little bigger area than what you kind of would think sitting right here.
Exactly.